ABC for the Ozarks, covering our community. This is KSPR News at 4.
It is opening day at Springfield's Hammons Field.
That's right. We're going to have a preview of what is to come in the 6th season of Cardinals baseball here in Springfield.
Whatever happened to the H1N1 flu? We'll tell you if it's still a threat and what could happen to the thousands of leftover vaccines. And it's being described as a fireball as bright as the sun. Was it part of a meteor shower or something else? Not baseball. We'll tell you what experts have to say. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michelle Sherwood. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Joe Dawes.
And I'm Christine Dawes. Thanks so much for joining us for the Cardinals opening game here at Hammons Field.
What an exciting time. Michelle, I'm not sure what it looks like behind us, but it's pretty empty right now outside of Hammons Field. It's going to get very crowded here this afternoon.
I know, especially with the weather being as gorgeous as it is. It's just a perfect day for opening day, and it's much better than past opening days from what I remember, weather-wise.
Exactly. We're going to check back in with Michelle Sherwood for the news of the day in just a moment. This is the 6th season for the Springfield Cardinals. Very significant. Of course, we had Scott Bales on our show yesterday on the news, and he was talking about Stan Musial being the number 6. This is the 6th season. They're giving out coins that have the number 6 this year, and usually, all kinds of important things.
666 not always being great numbers, but for the Cardinals this year it is.
Hopefully a lucky number.
Positive thing, we hope. And Whitey Herzog throwing out the first pitch today for the opening game, and there's new food to talk about, new games to talk about. We'll have all that coming up.
Cheaper food to talk about. I think that's the most important thing. Well, we're going to have all kinds of wonderful things going on out here. As you can probably tell by us squinting, the best part of it is the weather right now. A few high clouds, but sunshine, no rain in our immediate forecast. Let's check that weather radar right now with Kevin Leidy back in the studio. Kevin?
All right, John, Christine. Yeah, you know what? Things are okay out at the ballpark, but if you head further east, we actually are picking up on a little bit of rain. We'll take a closer look at that in the complete weather forecast coming at you here in just a little bit. Michelle?
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Swine flu may soon be a thing of the past. At the same time last year, it was just getting started here in the U.S., but now the health department says there are only a few cases of the swine flu. KSPR's Will Carter spoke with the health department and joins us now with more on what seems like some good news. Right, Will?
That is right, Michelle. The health department says it saw a small spike in swine flu in March just before students left for spring break, but since then the numbers have dropped off, and officials say while the threat is always there, it appears the immediate one is now over. Now, Michelle, as far as H1N1 vaccines are concerned, the health department says those are still available, but because the threat has gone down, so has demand, and many of the vaccines are actually now being destroyed because they're expiring. And of course, in case you're wondering, the health department does say there are plans for combining the H1N1 into this year's standard flu shot, but of course details on that are still not in detail yet, so they're going to roll those out a little bit later, Michelle.
Okay, thanks, Will. Currently, both Missouri and Arkansas are out of the high risk. You can see by this map what the swine flu is doing across the nation. Most of the activity is in the southeast, and even there, only local and regional outbreaks are being reported. A controversial internet radio host with ties to a militant Minutemen group is now out of the Taney County Jail. This is an update to a KSPR exclusive we first brought you earlier this week. Christy Jakowski is charged with child abuse, endangerment, and resisting arrest. Investigators say she kicked her 11 and 12-year-old daughters out of her house for not obeying. The girls told officers their mom would order a man to tie them up and leave them in a room for hours. Today, a judge reduced her bond from $50,000 to $10,000. Listeners from her radio show and supporters helped raise that money online. KSPR's Emily Rittman is interviewing Jakowski about the charges right now near her Branson home. We hope to have more information from that interview in 30 minutes and on KSPR News at 6. 5 people are in custody this afternoon after a standoff this morning. The Greene County Sheriff's Office says deputies arrested 3 men and 2 women after a 90-minute standoff. It happened near Highway WW and Farm Road 145 in northern Greene County near Ebenezer. Deputies say the men and women were suspected of stealing property from a Springfield business called Bonded Transmission Services. The 5 hid inside the Ebenezer house. Eventually, law enforcement sent a dog inside. The dog is what got them to come out of the house. Deputies then arrested them. Ozarkers can now help the FBI nab bank robbers. The Bureau's Kansas City division unveiled this new website. It's called BanditTrackerKansasCity.com. It has profiles and pictures of bank robbers. It's meant to help people in western Missouri, which includes the Ozarks and Kansas. Now on the website, people can also provide anonymous tips. From this website, you can also go to a similar site made for Arkansas. You can find both of these websites under the link section of KSPR.com. If you travel through the I-44 Highway 65 interchange on your commute, you'll want to be particularly cautious tomorrow morning. This morning, a semi-truck hit a MoDOT maintenance vehicle and overturned while heading eastbound on 44. No one was seriously injured, but traffic was severely backed up until about 8:30. Those same MoDOT workers and vehicles will be there again tomorrow. By the way, next week is MoDOT's Work Zone Awareness Week, which serves as a reminder to be cautious when traveling through road construction sites. Today is April 15th, and guess what? That means your tax returns are due, but you're not out of time just yet. The main post office on Chestnut closes at 5:30, but any tax returns dropped off by 11:59 tonight will be postmarked for April 15th. Again, that's only at the Chestnut location. The post office on Independence closes at 5, while the Glenstone location will stay open until 5:30. However, if your tax return exceeds the 13-ounce threshold, it must be deposited in person to a postal retail clerk during regular business hours. Otherwise, it will likely be returned to the sender, and then you could face late fees. And speaking of deadlines, census forms are due tomorrow. If you don't mail in your form, you can expect a visit from a census worker at your front door as early as May 1st. The Census Bureau says it costs taxpayers $56 for each household for census workers to go door to door, while it only costs 42 cents to mail it in the mail. Here's your Missouri in a minute. Under a proposed law, pregnant women in Missouri will have more rights to protect themselves and their babies. The State House passed the measure. It now goes to the Senate. It allows mothers to use deadly force if someone threatens their unborn children. Some critics say the bill isn't necessary because a woman already has the right to protect herself. Oklahoma passed a similar law last year. Mother Nature cost Missouri nearly $50 million this winter. MoDOT says that's how much it costs to remove snow and ice from state roads and bridges. This is about $9 million more than what it cost last winter. In all, crews dumped more than 250,000 tons of salt. This past winter, crews dealt with a major Christmas storm and snow on the first day of spring. That wasn't that long ago. For now, we're going to check back in with Joe and Christine for more on the preparations that went into the Cards home opener tonight, guys.
Thanks, Michelle. Lots of news of the day, but back here at Hammons Field, the field and, of course, the stadium preparations have been going on for weeks now, but right now it's serious go time.
That's right. Even the concourse concrete got a spit shine. Well, I shouldn't really say spit. It was actually a guy on a cool machine. You see it right there. He was cleaning the concrete today. Also, there were some seat cleaners out there in the stands because there's a lot of seats that need cleaned, not just the concrete. And you see those guys there? They're the junior sales associates, aka interns. They had the task of cleaning and dusting all the seats in the stadium. They're probably still trying to get it done right now. Of course, the field is beautifully coiffed. We know Brock, the greenskeeper, every year he likes to do some cool designs on the grass in the outfield. This year is no different. And today, appropriately, the design on the outfield will be diamonds.
I think that was Brock right there on the machine out there in the grass.
He's out there doing the legwork himself.
He does a great job.
He does
you know,
good.
this day is really all about the fans and about the sport, and it's just appropriate to have our KSPR sports guy Mike Scott here. He's been out there. What have you been on? Pitching practice or something?
What have you been doing all day?
Playing baseball all day. What else? It's opening day, you know? But I'll tell you what, these look like regular baseballs, but you don't think about them during the game that much. This here is an official Texas League baseball straight out of the box. This is a rubbed up ball ready for game action.
Rubbed up,
ready to go. It's got
not as white.
Everything. Each night the umpires are in charge of rubbing up about 8 dozen of these balls, and the reason is because they want the slip off. Back in the 1920s, a pitcher threw the ball, slipped, killed a guy. Okay.
Wow.
Since then they've been using the rubbed up baseballs. Okay, well, you know, why do they use the rubbed up baseballs? Of course, because they don't want a guy to get killed. But back then, they were using tobacco juice. Disgusting, right? Until a coach in the 1930s named Lena Blackburn was out fishing on the Delaware River, found some mud, rubbed it up, found the perfect combination, and still to this day, minor league and major league baseball teams are using Lena Blackburn official Delaware River mud to rub up these baseballs.
Are you kidding me?
That's an awesome story. But wait a minute, 8 dozen?
8 dozen of these, and you know, they also use 3 to 4 pounds of mud each team a year, and the guy's kid still goes out on a canoe each year to get the mud straight from that river. But 8 dozen of these balls at a little over $3 a pop for the cheap price.
Wow.
They only last 7 pitches. They're rubbing up these baseballs and they're out of there in 7 pitches. Some kids got a souvenir. So it's costing the Springfield Cardinals over $300 a night just for these baseballs.
But think about it this way. Every kid that catches one of those balls is coming back to the baseball game.
You can't beat it. That's what the experience is all about. And hey, now you know this ball, Delaware River mud all over it.
Oh my gosh. And somebody's got blisters from rubbing those all the time.
The umpires, you know?
No wonder they're so cranky.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike
That
Scott.
was a good story.
Listen, Whitney Scott's going to be joining us later with a little preview of the game. She's kind of got the inside scoop on who's playing, who's starting, and all that kind of stuff.
That's right. For now, we're going to send it back to Michelle.
Rub-a-dub-dub. That's a great story, Mike. Most people are expected to juggle several tasks at once these days, and new research is out today about how your brain handles those tasks. We'll talk about your efficiency and your limits in the medical checkup. And an amazing flash of light was spotted in 7 Midwest states last night. What exactly was it? We'll talk about it and show you more of this video later in the newscast. But now over to Kevin for a preview of our forecast. Kevin.
All right, Michelle, we're going to take a glance at the allergy report from today. We've got trees up in the minor category. Weeds are also up there as well, along with mold and grass. Well, we've got some rain out there this afternoon popping up, especially out to the east. Could this affect the Springfield Cardinals tonight? We'll talk about it in the forecast coming up.